the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex. This is Time Out Over Time on the Time Out Over Time YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenault. And before we get started, if you haven't done so yet, please do me a favor, get down there at the corner and smash that like and subscribe button. You'll be doing me a big favor if you do. Thank you. I'll be forever thank you to you. Thank you for that. A lot has transpired, obviously, since we last met. In the last 72 hours, I will do my darndest to fit that all in for you in the next 20 minutes. So, anyway, here we go. Time Out Over Time is sponsored in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. If it's time for a new to you vehicle, let the sales professionals at Frank Beck help you choose the right vehicle. New or pre-owned, Beck's has the top selection in the tri-state area with over 200 vehicles in stock. Stop by and see for yourself, and when you're ready, ask for Ross McMorty, Chris Hodis, Danny Smith, Adam Schaefer, Blake Bryant, Cameron Mincio, Bob Flynn, or their newest sales professional, Peyton Lucas. Get in there and say hi to Peyton. And when it comes time to service that new to you vehicle, the service pros at Beck's can fix it. Any make, any model, Ford or domestic, Beck's can fix it. And if you have a bit of a crunch or fender bender, Beck's Body Shop can put it back together just as good as new. So for all your automotive needs, look no further than Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, 517-849-2886, or on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Come and experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. And if I don't take some water on here, I don't think I'll be able to get through the next 20 minutes. Excuse me for just a moment, please. Folks, please do what I'm doing. Try to stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water during the day. If you have a chance, water with either lemon or orange is even better for you. Rich in vitamin C, of course. But the main thing is you just avoid being outside if at all possible. Keep an eye on the kids and the pets. Stay hydrated. Stay safe. It looks like it's going to be this way for a while. So we'll just have to make the best of it. We're not really used to this. So just be careful. Like I said, stay hydrated. Keep an eye on the pets and the kids. So anyway, where do we start here today? I think we'll start with the champ and chump of the week. My champ of the week is probably going to be the Bryson DeChambeau, winner of the 124th U.S. Open at Pinehurst. I'm going to make him the co-champ of the week, along with former Lion quarterback Adrian Martinez, who won the UFL championship game on Sunday, beating San Antonio 25-0. Not only was he the MVP of the season, he was the MVP of the game on Sunday. I got more to say about that here a little bit later on. But, so co-champs of the week, Bryson DeChambeau and Adrian Martinez. Probably going to make the chump of the week or the loser of the week, Rory McIlroy. I understand he lost a heartbreaker on Sunday, but did not stick around to shake the hand of the winner, do any interviews, simply went right up to his car and he left. I was kind of the same way too. I was never a good loser, and I understand how he felt. So he needs a little time to himself, I guess, but I'm going to make him the chump of the week. Sorry, Rory. I know you gave everything you had, but it was heartbreaker to lose. So, and congratulations to DeChambeau for winning that. 124th U.S. Open winner, Bryson DeChambeau. Tigers, get them out of the way first. As usual, wasted a good pitching performance last night from Olson and Reese Olson. Another good game for him last night. He left the game after 6 innings with a 1-0 lead. Bullpen that sucks. Couldn't hold it. Make a long story short, they lost 2-1. They're fading fast. They're now 34-38 after 72 games. They're 6 games out of that last wild card spot. They're not going to get that. They're fading fast. And a couple of people might be happy, though, are Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch, because the farther they fall, the least pressure there is on them at the trade deadline to do something. If I were the Tigers right now, for what this team is doing, I'd have to think very seriously about dangling Tarik Skubal out there at the trade deadline to see what you can get for him. They've got control. Whoever gets him has control of him for the next 2 years. Let's say the Tigers don't do anything with him, and a year or two from now, I don't. It's hard to fathom Chris Ilitch giving Tarik Skubal a lucrative long-term deal. I just don't see that, especially if his agent is Scott Boras. I don't see that happening. Trade him now. See what you can get for him. Yeah. Obviously, you're still in the rebuilding mode. You're not ready to win yet. This is what he told last month, what he told the MLB network when he had an interview with them. And that's another thing. The flagship station isn't very happy either. They don't like the fact that he'll go on the MLB network. I'm talking about Scott Harris now, and do an interview with them, but he won't do one with them at the flagship, which is what AJ Hinch does every other week or so. And their feeling is, he goes on the MLB network for an interview and he gets a bunch of softballs thrown at him. And I think he's fearful of what they're going to ask him on the flagship. They'd love to get him out there, but he refuses to come out. So he's a weasel, in my opinion. I don't think much of Scott Harris, even though he's been here 2 years already. I don't have any respect for him at all. He's just a yes man for Chris Ilitch. Why don't you sell the darn team? Really? What are you hanging on to him for? That's about all I have to say about the Tigers right now. They're in Atlanta again tonight. I don't even know who's pitching. And I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that I have to do this show and the show on Saturday morning with Andy, and I have to know a little bit about what's going on, for that reason, I monitor what they're doing. If it wasn't for that, I would completely turn them out right now. Obviously, I'm not watching him on TV. I don't listen to him on the radio. I found other things to do with my time rather than waste it on the Tigers. Yeah, no. That's all I have to say about that. Are we done with the Tigers? I think so. Still nothing yet from the Pistons. NBA draft now is about a week away. We have no idea what they're doing, what their plans are. We have heard nothing from Trajan Langdon, the new president of basketball operations. I don't know. We don't know if Monty Williams is going to be the head coach next year. This is incredible. The fact that we have heard nothing from them. No official announcement, even on Langdon. I wish I had something to report on you, something more specific or definitive. But there's just nothing out there right now. It's incredible. And of course, with the season officially ending last night with the Celtics dominating win over the Mavericks. All hail the NBA champs with a 106-88 win over the Mavericks last night. It wasn't much of a game. Jaylen Brown had a good final series. He was awarded the Bill Russell Most Valuable Player Award, and rightfully so. It was the Celtics' 18th overall NBA championship in their franchise history. That's more than anybody else. However, this was their first championship since 2008. So once again, the city of Boston is having a parade sometime later this week to celebrate yet another championship. You're getting a little tired of that too, aren't you? Yeah, I think we all are. And we covered basketball. Hockey will probably be over tonight too. Game 5. It is game 5 tonight in Sunrise, Florida. The Panthers and the Oilers. Panthers, I expect to win tonight. Team in Florida, an expansion team at that, winning the Stanley Cup. That makes it even more frustrating. I don't know if I mentioned this or not either, but we're going back a couple of weeks ago. The Patrick Kane's agent did meet with Steve Yzerman. I don't know where that went. Never heard any more about it after that. All I know is that they did meet. What does that tell us? Pardon me, the Wings are interested in bringing him back, and Kane would be interested in coming back, but his agent probably wants some assurances from the Red Wings on what they're going to do this offseason. They're going to sign any free agents, bring in another goalie. Kane, who is 35 now, I'm sure if he is coming back, wants more than a 1-year deal, and he wants some assurances that he's going to at least be in the playoffs and have a chance to win another cup yet. That's where they're at with that. The NHL draft is coming up soon. I don't have that exactly when, but that's coming up, I believe, before the end of the month anyway. Next time we're on, I'll give an exact date as when they're going to have it. I expect that to be over tonight. I'll be very surprised if the Oilers win. Is that about it? We've done with hockey, basketball. I get you up to date on that. This too, I'm sad to report, former Lion Isaiah Buggs is in trouble with the law again. Just a few weeks ago, he was charged with second-degree animal cruelty, and now he has been charged with second-degree domestic violence and second-degree burglary. Isaiah Buggs. Arrested for burglary and domestic violence in Tuscaloosa, and as I said, after facing charges last month for animal cruelty. So now we understand why early in the season last year he was a healthy scratch. We weren't really being told why. All we knew was he wasn't playing. We had thought initially maybe he had gotten into a verbal disagreement with Aaron Glenn. Well, I think by now we're finding out something about the content of Isaiah Buggs' character. I don't think very highly of it. Now we pretty much know why the Lions have cut ties with him. So he's in trouble again with the law down in Tuscaloosa. Before I get into anything else, I want to put in a good word for a good man who, without his help and assistance, we wouldn't be doing this right now. That would be Tim Lindley at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale, 37 Waldron Street. For all your technical service needs, get in there and see Tim. He'll take care of anything you need done. Computers, new or used. The computer you have done needs any work done on it. Big screen TVs, mounted, programmed, he'll take care of that. Maybe you're changing internet services, whatever it is. Printers, new or used, get in there and see Tim or his assistant, Zach. They will take good care of you. Again, at 37 Waldron Street in downtown Hillsdale. That's probably 150, 200 feet west of Howell Street, on the north side of the street, right on the alley. 517-610-5372. Or better yet, like I said, they're at 37 Waldron Street. Get in there and see them for whatever tech service you may need. And when you do, please tell them Rick sent you. Thank you ahead of time for that. But the Lions, it became official today. They have signed former Michigan Panthers kicker Jake Bates to a 2-year deal worth $1.98 million with $150,000 guaranteed. He also got a $100,000 signing bonus, which means the worst case scenario for Jake Bates would be if he didn't make the team, he still gets $250,000. $250,000 is his. He can keep that. That's his money. I think the competition. By the way, the Lions also mentioned this morning that they have waived or released former University of Michigan kicker uh, James Turner. I'm a little bit surprised at that too, because I thought after last week, after minicamp, everything I was reading, I thought Turner had an edge over Badgley. Apparently, not in the eyes of the Lions, he did. So now they're down to two kickers again. I think the competition will be good. Brad Holmes also over the weekend didn't rule out keeping two kickers on the roster, especially with the uh, new kickoff rules the way they are now. Uh, you could have maybe Badgley handle the kickoff duties and Bates handle the field goals. He's not ruling it out. I think it's improbable, but it is possible. Uh, Two, will this change having an accurate long range kicker now from beyond 60 yards? He made what did he? How many 60 yarders did he have? He had at least four. I think he had at least four field goals this past season of 60 yards or more. Will this change Dan Campbell's philosophy of going forward on fourth down? I don't think it will, but it's good to know that if you got the ball at midfield about 60 yards away, that you've got a kicker who's capable of getting that far, kicking that far. Two, I think probably maybe with his agent, a couple of things that he considered before they signed. He was kicking, obviously, he's very comfortable kicking in forward field, but also the Lions only have 3 games outdoors all season long coming up this year. Obviously, 4 games in indoor stadiums. That's something to consider too. I think Bates is more accurate inside than he is outside. But I'm glad to see it. And good for him. If he makes the team next couple of years, he'll make a couple of $1 million. If not, again, worst case scenario for him is he's got 250 grand. That's his. That's his money. He gets to keep that. Interesting competition. Speaking of competition, too, one thing I'd like to see. I mentioned Adrian Martinez earlier, who started out at Nebraska, transferred to Kansas State. The Lions brought him in last year as an undrafted free agent. I thought he played pretty well in the exhibition season. And obviously, he had a successful year this year in Birmingham in the UFL. He won a championship and he was the league MVP. Why not bring him back? Bring him back and let him compete with Hendon Hooker for the backup slot in training camp and the exhibition season again. He's a very good runner, got a lot of mobility in the pocket. He showed that last year, coming off a successful year in the UFL. I'm starting a campaign to bring Adrian Martinez back to compete with Hendon Hooker for the Lions backup spot. I wouldn't rule that out. I wouldn't rule out the Lions doing that. So, I'd like to see it. A couple of things too. Sticking with football, Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver of the 49ers, issued a statement yesterday. He didn't issue a statement. He actually did talk. And the gist of what he said was the 49ers don't want him back. He's in the final year of his contract. And apparently the 49ers, if they don't reach a deal, will be slapping the franchise tag on him. You remember they had this problem a couple of years ago with Deebo Samuel. There was looked like they were going to trade him. In fact, the Lions were one of the teams that inquired about his availability. And they ended up signing him to a long-term deal. Well, it's the same thing now with Brandon Ayuk. He wants to get paid. Look, they just gave Christian McCaffrey a very lucrative long-term deal. They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. Should the Lions look into the availability of Brandon Ayuk? I don't think it hurt to give him a phone call out there. But from what Ayuk said yesterday, he's not a happy camper. But then again, what is the character of this guy? He's holding out. Anyway, They put in a call a couple of years ago for the availability of Deebo Samuel. I'd say do the same thing with Brandon Ayuk. See what's up there. Uh, like I said, I think it'd be worth making an inquiry into that anyway. One last thing before we leave. Charles Barkley has announced one of my favorite TV personalities. Of course, when he was played, he was known as the round mound of rebound. For his size, he was only 6'5". But I don't think I've ever seen a better rebounder than this guy. He was pretty special. And sadly, he never won a ring. He never won a championship. And after 24 years with TNT, he announced the other night that next year will be his last year. I don't think it's any coincidence that last year is also the last year for TNT's contract with the NBA. Anyway, one of the class acts for the last 24 years on the air, Charles Barkley, played during the era of the Bad Boys, and I enjoyed watching him. That's pretty good. Like I said, sadly, he never won a championship, but I've enjoyed watching him, as I think most of you have, on TNT for all these years. That's about it. I tried getting everything in here in the last 20 minutes or so, as much as we had to get in. Don't forget, every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 here locally on WCSR 92.1 FM. Time Out with Andy Brown, and I will be with you again on Thursday night. Stay hydrated, stay cool, be careful. Like I said, keep an eye on the kids and the pets. Older people, stay out of the heat. If you have to, get down to the senior center. Take a book down there, read it all day in there if you have to, but please stay out of the heat and humidity, at least for the rest of this week anyway. That's about it. Remember to treat each other with respect, and I will talk to you again on Thursday. So, till then, have a good evening, everybody.